I'm Kerry Phippen. I'm an artist living in and working in Gloucestershire. I work in many different mediums. Primarily I think of myself as a drawer. I've always drawn a lot, still draw a lot. I like water-soluble type graphites and water-soluble pencils, and they are usually what I would use to generate ideas. But I also paint, I use acrylic, occasionally oils. I quite like to do some monoprinting. There's all sorts of things, but what I'll keep looping back to, and which keeps me kind of excited, I guess, is using ink. There's something about using that subdued palette which makes it on the edge of realism. In some ways it is quite earthy, sepias and raw siennas, lovely grey, black. I still love black. I like a little white. But then every so often I really like a really good splash of this red, which is that epic colour. I love that. Luckily I see a lot of wildlife where I live, and that is also the subject matter that I really enjoy. So I like to look at that, I like to spend time in it, I like to draw it, I like to photograph it, I like to get my inks out and think about them as they move about the landscape. These are more standing figures, these ones, but I've done a whole series recently of leaping animals, leaping deer. And the ink again has just been brilliant for that, because it makes me think of the blood coursing through the veins kind of thing. You know, kind of, not a cheesy way, but it is. They are on the move and elemental, all those things, in and out of woods. You know, you get a glimpse, which is a bit like ink to me. It's a bit like trying to catch smoke. It's got a kind of... I'm really interested in that relationship that people have with animals anyway, like people working with a sheepdog. That kind of unspoken relationship I think is really interesting. So you don't necessarily have to say anything, you've just got this kind of bond going on. So the ink, I think, if you've got a figure and an animal, you've got the ink again does that thing, you think there's a flow going between the two that you don't have to say. And I think that does that really nicely. I can't remember why I picked up ink, but I started with Quink ink and was messing about with that, and then I suddenly went, oh my god, that's quite exciting. And I was using it to paint fabrics and, you know, like really ornate fabrics on little girls and things. So I was looking at quite gothic imagery, and it lent itself very well because I was looking at satins and that kind of shiny fabric, and it somehow did, in a kind of dark way, which quite appealed to me, kind of the look of that kind of silky fabric. That's what it started with, and then I just kept looking at ink. I mean, it hasn't really left me since.